Hey, how's it going, guys? Domino Paris 21 here, and back again with yet another deck profile for you all. So, of course, what I have to present to you guys is my Reverse Daiyusha deck. So, definitely with the release of Daikaiser from the D-Police trial deck and Reverse Daiyusha post set 13, it does bring some new added depth to D-Robos, and I feel that it definitely does fill in a few gaps that D-Robos kind of had before, which really would make them a surefire top-tier competitive deck. Now, they were still a pretty competitive deck before, but now with the addition of these two bosses of Reverse Daiyusha and Daikaiser, it definitely does bring this deck up to what I feel is one of the best decks post set 13. So, really powerful deck, lots of fun to play, lots of pressure going on, which is usually how I like my decks to be. So yeah, without further ado, let's actually get started. So, pardon me, Urza and Karumi, don't kill me. So, first off for a starter, I am sticking to D-Robo Goyusha. Now, I know you have Magnum, which was a new starter released for D-Police, post set 13. But to be very perfectly honest, I don't like any of the D-Police starters. Like, I don't like any of them. I think they're not great. But at least with Goyusha, what he does bring to the deck is insurance. So, like, you know, if I know I'm gonna misgrade a grade 3, like I don't have a grade 3 in hand, starting off, I can at least go Superior Ride into it. I mean, although he does have the hefty cost of using up 4 D-Robo units, I mean, the potential to Superior Ride over my opponent at the same time preventing my misgrade is always good. Or if I'm sitting on my Daikaiser, my Break Ride, and I don't have grade 3 in hand, but I want to make a push on my opponent, well, I mean, I do have the option of doing that. But to be perfectly honest, I don't use any of this. I tested out both, like Magnum and Goyusha here, but I never really use their skills at all. All I use them for is just a 5k booster, and the fact is that they're D-Robo target to lock for a Reverse Daiyusha. That's it. I hardly ever use my starter skills, so that's why I say, like, D-Robo doesn't really have any good starters, so simple as that. Next up for grade 3s. We have, of course, your 4 Daikaiser. Daikaiser, Break Ride for D-Police. If you guys don't know what he does, you Break Ride, so when you ride a grade 3 on top of him, your Vanguard gets plus 10,000 and a crit, and the ability of whenever you drive check a grade 3 for the turn, you can retire one of your opponent's units in the Guardian Circle, and if you retire a Perfect Guard, then you get to nullify the effects of a Perfect Guard, so ultimate shield break. So it does bring some more added depth in the pressure that this deck can bring to your opponent. And I mean, what really makes this card pretty legit is that for the most part, you know, your opponent doesn't want to see this hit. So obviously with the extra crit, because it's almost game-winning potential right there. So it will force your opponent to do a lot of silly, crazy shenanigans to make sure that they can withstand the shield breaking ability he has. So I see opponents throw 2 Perfect Guards down, Perfect Guard, 2 10s, 5s, and here down. And there's one time my opponent didn't have a Perfect Guard, so he like threw like almost his entire hand just to make sure this doesn't hit. So it definitely forces out a lot of unnecessary guarding from your opponent sometimes. So that's really what makes this card pretty legit as a pressure card. Also at the same time, he pretty much gives you a win condition as well. I mean, there are times I just simply won because I just was able to Daikaiser my opponent to death. So it's pretty good. Then next up for grade 3s, you have your 4 Reverse Daiyusha. So, really loving this card a lot. What Reverse Daiyusha does, of course, if you guys don't know, is Limit Break 4, you Counterblast 1, and... excuse me, guys. My throat's a little dry. You lock 2 of your D-Robo rear guards, and your opponent's Vanguard loses minus 10k power. So, very, very powerful skill. In the sense, it kind of just gives all your columns plus 10,000 power when attacking Vanguard, in a sense, so... But what I like with Reverse Daiyusha and compared to Great Daiyusha is that while Great Daiyusha is great to give that, you know, added crit pressure and such, once it becomes late game, your opponent's at 4 or 5 damage, that extra crit essentially becomes a vanilla, because your opponent's going to guard it no matter what anyway. With Reverse Daiyusha, it gives you that late game push, you know, because once you wear your opponent out, you know, dealing with Daikaiser and other key cards in this deck, which you'll see in a sec, then Reverse Daiyusha just helps go in for the kill, just go in for that push for game. So that's something that D-Robos didn't have before, which was a good late game push, but Reverse Daiyusha finally fills in that gap for this deck. And then, of course, just in my 9th grade 3, I am running the 1 Super Dimension Robo Daiyusha. You could, I was probably going to put in a Great Daiyusha, but I think he's running for like 20 bucks or something, so he's like too high in price. This was a lot cheaper, but also at the same time, I mean, there are a few key cards in this deck that does give my Vanguard plus 4k power, so I can fulfill the conditions of Daiyusha to gain that extra crit. And if I ride him early, then at least I do have the option of just cross riding, which is very, very viable, as always. So I definitely like that option. But yeah, 9 grade 3s I think is a good balance just to take most advantage of Daikaiser. I don't think you should run more because that's just bad. So I think 9's a good balance. Next up for grade 2s, you have your 4 Daidragon. Really upset that these are just the rares, because I really don't like it in a rare, just because I'm so used to seeing them in a double rare pattern for set 8. So I do have them in the mail, but unfortunately I have these crappy rares. But yeah, 4 of these. You have 3 Kaizard, excuse me. He is a rare coming from the trial deck, of course. So what he does is, while he's in Vanguard Circle, when you ride a D Robo over him, your Vanguard gets plus 5,000 till the end of turn. So obviously you can combine it with regular Daiyusha, get the extra crit, get some crit off. But most importantly, it just allows your Vanguard to get plus 5 for free, just for riding him, which is always good. So maybe, for instance, if I don't have a booster for my Vanguard, for instance, I mean, he essentially becomes a free temporary booster for the turn, which kind of can lead to a +1, which is nice. But he does. But the fact is that the Vanguard does retain the +5, works well in combination with another key card I do run in this deck, which you'll see in a sec. But yeah, really good card. And I run 3 Daibarret. Daibarret is a box topper for Mystical Magus extra booster. So what he does is you counterblast 1, put him in the soul, give your Vanguard plus 4,000, and if the Vanguard hits, then you excuse me, you get to retire one of your opponent's rear guards. So very powerful card. He's not an expensive card too either, so very easy to get if you order him online. Now, if you don't have access to Daibarret, you could just run Fighter, which is your standard 10k vanilla for the deck. He works perfectly fine too, so either or is fine, but I like Daibarret. Just early game pressure, allows me to try and kill some any threats I may see early on from my opponent, so always good. Next up for grade 1s, you have your 4 Daishield. Simple as that. I like the artwork on this a lot too, so it looks pretty cool. Reminds me of like a Metabot, as my friend David from I Am Vanguard mentioned, so kind of does look like a Metabot. But yeah, 4 Daishield. And then you have 4 of my favorite card in the deck, 4 Commander Laurel. So Commander Laurel, if you guys don't know, he was actually the main unit for D-Police in terms of their main strategy post set 4 when D-Police was first introduced. But what Laurel does is, while he's on the field and your Vanguard hits anything, either your opponent's Vanguard or rear guard, you rest 4 D-Police units, stand up your Vanguard, you don't lose Twin Drive. So Laurel is definitely one of my key cards in the deck, just because with Laurel, he does give you that nice early mid-game pressure to your opponent. Which is always going to be good, because a restaying Vanguard is always a threat, especially if you can do it before limit break. So basically, with the layers of the pressure of D-Police, you have Daikaiser, which pretty much gives you that potential win condition and good mid-late game pressure, like post-limit break, and Reverse Daiyusha as that much later game pressure. So you have pressure in like all aspects of the game, which is what I like about Laurel. And of course, I do run 4, just because I want to draw him as consistently as possible and as often as possible. Especially, you know, when you're talking about playing in a tournament setting, you know, 5 rounds or so, you want to be able to draw him just because of just how much he does bring to this deck. Now, another thing with Laurel is that he makes Daikaiser a lot more powerful, because typically, you know, whenever I deal with Daikaiser that didn't run Laurel, if I was at 2 or 3 damage, either I would just no guard and just bank on the crit, or I would just perfect guard once, and, you know, if my opponent hits a grade 3, then, well, I don't die, unless he can hit a crit on top of that, which doesn't always happen all the time in conjunction. But with Laurel, it makes it so that you really don't want Daikaiser to hit no matter what. Even if Daikaiser doesn't kill you when he hits, the fact is that Laurel allows it to restand and you get the ability again. I mean, I've actually, you know, closed out a few games just doing that in general. So he makes it now so that Daikaiser has to be like a for sure no hit. You don't want him to hit in general. So that's how much pressure this Laurel brings for the deck. Now, you can't lock him for Reverse Daiyusha, but I mean, you could just still have him as a booster, put him in front of a Daidragon, still hits for that 16, which is a good number, and then you just simply lock your other 2 boosters. So it's never a big deal at all. And if not, then, oh well, minus 10,000 to your Vanguard is minus 10. So, I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter what number this is. It's still plus 10 to the column in a sense. So, that's pretty much my thing with Laurel. Let's see. Then, the rest of my grade 1s, you have your 3 Daitiger, just 10k attacker, always good. And 3 Daibrave. Daibrave is nice, coming from the trial deck. It's just, while it's in Soul, you Soul Blast it, and your Vanguard gains the ability of, when it hits your opponent's Vanguard, Counterblast 1, draw a card. Just a nice, good first turn ride. Try to get some extra +1 plays if you can. Definitely, because since Laurel does require you to have like a full field, so it helps suppress that a bit. So yeah, and she's just a good 7k booster, so really good. And then last but not least for triggers, you just have your 4 Die Battle Justice Cobalt, making it 8 crit. 4 D Robo draw. Really like to have D Robos get a draw, and 4 heal. So pretty much just a standard lineup. I was gonna run 7 crit 5 draw, but for some reason I can't find my extra D police draw triggers. But yeah, just a basic lineup. Not much more to it. So yep. So there you have it, guys. That's it for my D police deck profile. As always, thank you guys so much again for watching, and as always, feel free to leave a comment down below with any questions, concerns, and such you may have for me. And definitely going to try, again, get some matches going for this deck for you guys. So yeah, without further ado, thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.